Good morning, America! Coming live from Shenzhen, China. Perry is here, Harrison's in the background, and I am here to see what it is that you want to talk about, see who logs in, and see if we can pull them into the show. Going to be a shorter show today. I'm actually down here to develop a new product, which I'm not going to tell you very much about, but it's a new product which is going to change the industry, and it's all about efficiency. Yeah. Yesterday I was going to broadcast live from Hong Kong, but we ended up on a rooftop bar, and unfortunately the rooftop bar had no Wi-Fi, and it was raining, so it wasn't really that impressive. So there's just a couple little photos, but I had a good time in Hong Kong with my best buddy from Hong Kong. There is J-Mac. Christie's here. Good to see you. Paul Rawson's here again. Matthew Dinley's here. Liz Ryan's here. Adam McLaurin is here. We've got some Peter Thomas's in from Perth, Australia. Jason Hatch, you're saying bad connection. Is that bad connection at my end or your end? If somebody else could let me know. Kyle Bow is here. Thomas Contra is here. Wade Hunt is here. We've got a load of guys who are here. TJ Gilbert is back in the show. And John Iron. It's laggy, is it? Okay. I'm on 4G, so that might be the problem. Richard Whitlock is here. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it better. Kyle, have you got good signal or bad signal? That's what we want to know. All right, let's see. It's a bit of a pain because I am on 4G and I can't see how good my signal is. Okay, all right. Well, if it's good for you, Paul, it's not bad everywhere. Les Ryan is good. Okay, so that means the signal out is good. Whew, wow. So we had a great day yesterday. I don't know that we did a whole lot productivity-wise. Did we, Harry?
Not much.
We just drank beer, I think.
Beer.
That's what it was. The reason we went to Hong Kong is because even though we've got this business in China and everything like that, China does not, we've got to go and renew our visa. Let's put it that way. We've got to renew the visa really regularly. Okay, so the signal is good in most places. Fantastic. All right, Tom Brenninger is here. Who are we going to talk to? I was going to try and talk to Chris Stinnes about franchising and not franchising. He has actually, his business model is not franchising. Let's pull that across and see who's here. And if you want to come on the show, Angelo Ponce is here. Let's see if we can pull Angelo in. You've got to go to settings, privacy, camera and microphone, and allow for Facebook. Craig Hardman is here. He's a smart dude. He's a thinker. Right? Oh boy, there's some good people. Let me bring Peter Thomas in first. Let me see what happens if I invite Thomas. He's got the bronze wool brush, so let's talk bronze wool brush. See if Peter's in. Peter Pumpkin Eater. All right. So Johnny is in New Zealand, but he's driving at the moment. So I said to him, pull over somewhere where you get good signal and beam us in, show us what the scenery's like. He's driving from Auckland to Napier right now as we speak. All right, let's see what happens with Peter Thomas. Any other questions? Let me slide that across. Facebook gives you an amazing control panel, Timmers is overseas, Liz. Yeah, allowing in. Oh, Don Hamlin is here. Greetings. Yes, I've just come off the phone from Don with his Reach It Flow. That's good. David Dunn is here from Salt Lake City, I think, Utah. David is was actually our first, I think the first Reach It Pro. No way! You're the wife, Peter.
Oh, yeah, right. Bloody time, doesn't matter.
Bloody marvellous, man. Sensational.
Oh, yeah. Really, really crap internet here.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, rainy day in Bali.
Oh, that's right. You're in Bali. You're not in Perth.
Volume up. Where's the bloody volume switch on? Here it is. Yeah. No, can hardly hear you. It's
okay.
Down.
Well, I'll yell. I can hear you well.
Oh, that's good.
Hey,
hi, Darren.
Tell us about.
How's your job's going?
Yeah. Tell us about the bronze wool brush.
Bronze wool brush. Oh, mate. I was just having a look at Alibaba for some stuff. Oh, yeah, it's a killer. I can't kill it. I'm on my 4th pad at the moment, replacement
right.
pad. Yeah. Everyone's got to get one.
So
But
what's the key? What can it remove that you couldn't remove before? And how many agitation strokes do you need to remove stuff?
To remove spots, every job's different, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
And for where we are down in Australia, yeah, we've got shitloads of bloody bees and flies and fly screens. They don't trap everything.
Right.
Solar panels. I put a post up about a week ago with some, there was 24 panels on the roof, and I reckon with the amount of bee poo and fly and bird shit and everything, I reckon probably 20 of them would have been working in total. The rest of them were just bots.
Wow.
I went up there and did the exercise with just the normal 24-inch brush with fairly stiff bristles. And I was it was a waste of time, basically. It would get a little bit off.
Yep.
Got the magic brush up there, and yeah, it just fell off.
Amazing.
It probably saved me half an hour on those 24 panels.
On 24 panels, which is decent.
Yeah.
Right. We're talking about the bronze wool brush. Peter Thomas has
Yep.
the only one in the world. He's been testing it for 4.5 months. It hasn't failed him. It hasn't broken down. He's actually only got a 3D printed version of it. And that's what we're going to do now. I've actually, ordered it last week that we make some more 3D print versions so we can get more of them out there like immediately.
Mm.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So oh, look at that. You are in heaven, buddy. Look at that.
It's still about
That's
25
the way to
degrees.
holiday.
Oh,
So where are you? Well, you're just in, oh my
that
God.
was the last few days.
A man after my own heart. That's great.
So where am I? I'm in it's Sanua in Bali.
Sanua.
It's on
Is it a quiet area? You got a beach
Yeah,
down
it
there
is.
or what?
Sorry?
You got a beach down there?
Probably 5-minute walk out that way.
Nice.
I've got a bottle shop just down the road. They deliver.
Great. Perfect. Hey, the other thing that you've done, just people might not understand as to how innovative some guys are, is that you also developed a vacuum to go with the XTs, right?
Yes.
We're working on that. We slowed down on it, but we're going to work on that again this year, right?
Actually, I found my first photos of that the other day. I was killing some photos on my phone. I thought, I must ring. And that was about a year ago I sent that to you.
Unbelievable. Time goes too quickly, friend.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm one of these that sort of go, okay, I've got the equipment. What else can we do with it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
So
same
you were doing internal like ledge and vacuuming and frame vacuuming inside. What is it, a shopping center or factory?
No, it's schools. A lot of schools now are sort of pre-manufactured and just sort of built up.
Yeah.
But the way they've got them, they've got a very high A-frame with air conditioning ducting in the middle, followed by the air conditioning droppers underneath it. Then they run fluoro tubes down each side.
To create a
then
false ceiling.
Yeah, and you can't get up there. And of course now all the school cleaners, the government have decided too unsafe. Okay, you guys can't go up on ladders anymore. How are we going to clean them? Pick me.
Yeah, pick me.
So
Les Ryan is saying he's in there with you because I think you and Les have worked together on that stuff, right? Les is down in Timaru.
Pretty much, yeah. We chat a bit on and off on the times.
Well, we've got a bit of spare profit this year, so we might have a look at sort of pushing a mold through on that stuff to get you and Les to sort of push us towards it and see if we could get towards 3D printing first and get like 5, 6 or 7 of them out there. That makes it much easier for me to be able to actually sign the check and pay the bill. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But the bronze pad's definitely changed the way we can do stuff because it can be done well. Oh, breakfast is being built.
But the point is with the bronze wool brush that we can now do the the pre-clean agitation, which would normally be a separate process, we can do that at the same time as cleaning windows, right?
Yeah, that's dead right.
One set of actions. You don't have to flip it over, because I look at the DA components thing where you flip it over, everybody to reach around, everybody's been doing that. And I just think that's such an ugly way of doing it. Making another step, making the top of the pole heavier, you know, flipping and flopping. I think the idea of being able to do it all in the one action is what we aim for. And you've said we're there, right?
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, Darren's got a good little number there. A lot of people have got it, but I reckon it'll be up high. It'll be a fairly, how would you say, extra weight.
Cumbersome, just
Especially,
cumbersome and awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't got a nice stiff pole.
I don't mind him commercializing it. I just don't want Reach It to commercialize something that's awkward without having done our very best to make something that's not awkward, you know?
Yeah. No, that's right. And the way I look at sort of that pad as opposed to the bronze pad we're trying to make around is what happens when you've finished with that little 2-inch pad.
The edge.
And it's a 6-inch pad which is wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And you're still getting that little top bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you waste all of that material. Yeah. Also.
Whereas with a standard 6-inch pad, you could cut that up into 2-inch strips and you get 3 out of the one pad.
Yeah. And it ain't cheap, that bronze wool, right?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of money. Well, you think it lasts a month. I mean, it's not expensive either.
Well, it can last over a month, depending how you use it. And if it's...
Hey, let me ask you this then. Do you think in the future, a year from now, anybody will have bristles in the middle of their brush, or will everybody use the bronze wool brush on every job?
Depending on the glass. It's like anything. You've got to know what you're doing with the glass. And it's like anything, really. Even bristles. You have a look at a job. Oh, do I need stiff? Do I need soft?
Yeah.
The way I've got mine set is, I've got fairly just 2 like Swift bristles on each side. I know the one you're trying to do now is only going to have the 1 bristle to sort of sweep. But yeah, I've run around with the longer end jet caps bristles, and that works a treat. Displays around, works good. But yeah,
sweet.
Will everyone have one? I reckon once they try it, yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, we've pushed the button, the go button. You go and have breakfast, Peter. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you for doing work while you're enjoying the sun.
Cooking breakfast.
Oh, marvelous, marvelelse. In Bali, Indonesia. Bali, Indonesia. That's where Peter's coming live from.
Yeah, it's only 3.5 hours from home. It's actually easier to fly here than it is to Melbourne or Sydney.
Melbourne or Sydney.
And cheaper.
And cheaper and nicer.
And
fantastic. All right. Thank you for coming in.
Bottle of Bintang's only
Indonesia,
28,000.
Perth, Australia. Hey?
All right. Hey, another thing you got to muck around with too is that little short handle to suit the number 1 pole.
I know. I've got to get you to send me a video on that, giving me direct instructions, and I'll put it into production. It's one of the things I want to do, and I haven't done it yet. But when you come back from your holiday, 100% I will put it into production.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'm getting older or just working smarter. But yeah, I just don't like bending over anymore. The nose to glass is great. But yeah, you can stand up and
Yeah, so basically you've developed, Peter's developed a full-size handle using something like the what do we call it?
The short number 2.
The Connect. Yeah.
All it is a short number 2 with a number 2 clamp on it.
And then with foam on it, and then you can put it on a number 1 section and make yourself a nice little pole because constructor brush will spin around, so you can do your ground glass or your store fronts like without bending over. Yeah. You're getting old, but you're wise.
Older and wiser.
Okay, so I will do that as soon as you get back from holidays. All right?
Yeah, no worries. All
right, buddy.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Say hi to everyone from Bali, Indonesia. Cheers, man. Yes, the dual DI, we've got a few guys in here. So that's Peter Thomas. He lives in Perth, Australia. He's gone on holidays to Bali, Indonesia, and he can beam into Facebook Live. That's pretty damn cool. While I'm in Shenzhen, China, and you are in America, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. That's how we roll. Let me just see what's going on here. John Heslin is here. Peter, at least cooking for yourself and will not be eating the dog. Augie is here. Douglas Vong is here. The dual DI system is in production. We've got a new prototype made up where we made the changes after the last Facebook Live. Shut up, John. You're boo-boo. I'm Yogi. Oh, dear. But, you know, anyway, at least you look older than me, right? Even if you're not older than me. That's all right. I can handle that. Yeah, so the dual DI is underway. We've got this handle. Definitely going to develop this handle for Peter, which is just basically a handle that makes it easier for you to hold on to the #1 section of a pole and then get the constructor brush down, you know, so you're working along the ground without bending over, that kind of thing. It's probably the same as not looking up as, you know, not bending over. Good for your back. And trad poles, I'm going to put those into production as well. I've just got to sit down and actually spec what the different pieces are. But we lead Oracle 4-0. No way. Yes, that's incredible. With all that money, and we're 4-0. Well, how can it be 4-0 when they started with 1, Johnny? So is it 4-1? Yeah, Johnny's giving us the sports report. Let me see if I can beam Johnny in, right? Come on, invite to broadcast. Hopefully he's got all the settings right on his phone. Oh, look at him. He looks so smart. Declined? Declined? Johnny, you got to hit accept. Or maybe he's not. No, he's not coming in. Declined. Oh, so much for the co-host. All right, so so I'm in Shenzhen, Johnny, and I'm going to go and see these boys about my amazing, amazing, amazing idea that is going to change the industry forever, and maybe some other industries as well. So anyway, let's see. I'm not going to talk until after I've had this meeting. We've got a non-disclosure agreement prepared for them. I'm going to sit them down and see if we can make something amazing, right? All right, so who else can we beam in? What else was that other thing? Yeah, the trad poles, we're going with those as well. The dual DI, we're going with those as well. Randy Merrow is here. That's good. Let's see who else is here. We are the future of cleaning. Yeah, like finally. I mean, here's the thing: is it takes. Let me just put a little bit of encouragement. Like Harrison and I started this business in 2011. I actually came to China in 2010. Harrison did too. He went to the World Expo and started serving booze and partying at 17 years old. And I went to Qingdao to sell solar thermal systems with a Chinese business partner. And in the end of that year, we got this great big deal. It was worth 700,000 euros. And stage 1 was 300,000 euros. I had 200,000 local money in commission. And the dude, Charlie, was my business partner. And he said, I'm not going to pay you a commission. So then I'm really screwed because I've been a single dad for 8 years before that. So I've spent all my money and I've got nothing left. So I go back home. I said to Harrison, we're not going home losers, right? Burn the bridges. Sell everything, come back, and then I had this little cut down because I used to sell Xtel poles, like 5 poles, you know, for the 5 different poles in a kit, basically. And so I came back to China with $10,000. I sold my last car. I left only 10 cubic feet of storage. That's the only bit for basically tax documents and stuff like that. And so I came back and I said, okay, we've burnt the bridges. And now I've got this sample of what is now the Mini that I thought, and I went off looking for a factory to make it up in that area where we were actually, because that's where we were. Put this hot water system, the solar thermal hot water system, into a 5-star hospital onto the roof. And so we started with just $10,000 Australian. Actually, it wasn't even 10,000 US. And a couple of buddies of ours lent us some money at different times where we got in a bit of pain, and so the complete focus, and we didn't spend any money, didn't go out drinking, we didn't live the life we're living now, right? And I think that that's really important, that if you see your business as small, then you've really got to pay the price. Even it's the same as a relationship. If you go out with a girl and then you want to develop that relationship, you have to spend the time. and you have to invest, and you have to think, and you have to get focused. And then at the beginning, we had 12 different poles. And then I said to Harrison, no, we'll bring it back to 2. So we went back to the Mini and the Pro. And then we said, we just get 2 poles really good, right? And just focus and listen and focus and listen and focus and listen and change whatever people are saying. So it doesn't matter if somebody's a bozo and they have a problem, or somebody's really smart and he has a problem. If you can listen to those 2 the same, then you're going to actually solve the problem for everybody in between. So sometimes you'll see me just cop this beating from some absolute knobs, you know, as the way they treat us, because they would never want to be treated that way in their business, but unfortunately they treat people that way when they're suppliers. And so if we start the business with that in mind and we solve all the problems, then we have 2 fantastic poles, which we do with Reach It Mini, Reach It Pro, and then we've gone on to the Procision. Let me see what Johnny's writing. 4-0. So we lead 3-1 as they cheated and started with 1 race in the bag. It's now 5 days off. Yeah, they'll change everything. So yeah, so then it's just focus, and relentlessly listening and just striving and challenging yourself to bite off more, and not to, unless you just want something static. But if you actually want to grow something, you've got to take risk. And risk means that you don't really care too much about what failure looks like or feels like. So if you've set yourself this amazing goal of a $10 million house at the end of the road and all that sort of thing, then that's going to interfere with, you know, how well you can take risks. Because every time you go to do something, like now, maybe this meeting today might cost me $50,000 if I go ahead with it, you know. But we didn't, like, we started with 10,000, we didn't have 50,000, we don't have any investors, we don't have any money thrown at us, you know. It's just whatever. The only money we have is the money that you guys gave us when you bought Reach It Pro or Reach It Mini, and there's gross profit sitting in there. But we've been tight, you know. We didn't go and buy big cars, we didn't go and buy big houses or anything like that. So we just kept the money in the business, and now we've got the money to reinvest in the product. Yeah. But we want to take that risk. We want to have that fun. Yeah. So if you get your chance to grow your business and you get a chance to put a second vehicle on, if I was you, I would become the king of rap on the most popular vehicle in your state in America as a pickup truck or a van, whatever it is that you're using, 10 years ago. And I would buy 3 of them instead of 1 new one. And one of them you can leave, if you've got space, you could leave in the shed, and that's your spare parts one. And the other 2 are on the road. And you just wrap those things so they look amazing and beautiful. But that gives you the ability to scale without feeling the risk. You know, there's things like that. One day we'll have a meeting and you guys can ask me what I think about this. But I think that I've shown a very good path of risk taking, and a very good path of, you know, self-control, and a very and yet ambitious and aggressive and driven and very consumer oriented. Like I'm in the community. And so you get that. So the same, I would say the same to you, is that because the world of social media is so intense and evolving so rapidly, is get yourself into your communities as much as you can if you want to become the biggest player in the community. And then you've got to listen to what they're saying, and they say, oh, I don't like this and I don't like that. And then you've got to think how to fix it, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. Because we, as providers, we're not our market, right? We have our own opinions, and we would buy off a person who maybe has like us. But it's more important that you're listening to everybody and saying, well, how could you think that? Because I don't think that. But because you do, there must be other people that do. And then how do I meet your needs, your position, your whatever, you know, on that basis? Let me see what you guys have been writing in the meantime. Go big or go home. Mark Stranger's here from Canada. That's good to see you, Mark. Yes. Biggest thing. Maybe I've got a phone call coming in. So if this signal is breaking up, then that would be because there is a phone call coming in. Amen to that. Go big or go home. Jesse Steers is here. John Mickelson is here. Yeah. So who am I going to pull in? Doug Rucker's here. Let me see if I can pull Doug Rucker in. Right? Doug Rucker. He's a good dude. Right? Oh. Here we go. Doug, are you here? Doug Rucker in the house. Doug Rucker in the house. He only popped in for a second. My. Damn. Anyway, so it's a good story. It's an idea to look out for. You got Charlied. This is not intellectual curiosity. I like that. Yeah. So anyway, so I'll keep talking, but and it's going to be a short show today because I have this meeting to go to at 10 o'clock. But there's a lot of things. Like I saw that I put that video up on my wall the other day, which was keep going. There's this kid carrying the other kid on his back, and the coach yelling and just telling him to keep going. And I thought that really struck a lot with me about how to keep going. And that's what we did. Like we just didn't let anything get in our way. We still have a lot of things going against us, but we don't sort of get all emotional about them too much. You take the hit and then you get over it, that kind of thing. But you still, I think that you've really got to find your passion about, what you like about your business. Now, we love the marketing, and, we, as much as possible, we've built a team around us to get the production right and tight. You know what I mean? So if you get the chance to say, okay, what do I want to be in the business? I mean, Harrison and I made the decision that I was going to stay at the face of the business, even though we're a 7-figure business now. You wouldn't know if we're 7 figures or if we're like 3 figures, because like Perry Tate didn't really change a whole lot in the way that he's available, right? But we try and stay as available, keep me as available as possible. Now you obviously got John there, who's my 100% backup man, stays awake all night, takes as many calls. Now we've got Indira, who's joined us from Kansas City, so she can take the calls, during the day. So, obviously I need backup, but when you need me, I'm here. And, part of running this Facebook Live, as you watch it evolve, I bought a big 65-inch screen the other day on Saturday, so it'll come in tomorrow. And then we'll be able to load up, behind me, I'll be able to step aside and push Johnny away and say, look, here's a video that the customer's given us today. This is the problem that they're facing. This is the challenge they've got. This is what they've discovered. This is what they've developed, and we can start, maybe we can have pre-recorded interviews or stuff like that, like they do on the news, that if somebody's not going to be available on Facebook Live, we can just put the excerpts up, and have you guys be able to join in. So we're really excited about developing this as a channel of availability, So then what does that mean to you and your business is, how do you make yourself more available to your community? Is it through charity work? Is it through Chamber of Commerce, BNI, Lions, Rotary? You know what I mean? Is it those, or is it that you're really involved with all the schools, or is it you're just amazingly everywhere, or that you're in all the shopping centers with your little booth, telling your story and making it more entertaining than boring? How do you make it more entertaining? I know Adam Froman with his bubbles truck, some guys will say I'd never do that, but he does it and it works for him. So therefore there is a percentage of the population that responds to bubble trucks. Yeah. So, that's kind of like my encouragement, is to say, if you really want to, achieve a higher level of success and not lose your humility or grace, then it's just how much can you help other people? How much can you be in front of other people? How much can other people ask you questions and get answers, like that, so that people are aware that you're there. And then, of course, they get the chance to choose you. Yeah, let me see. William Suarez is here. William and I are going to work together on developing a new squeegee channel. I know that. There's a few other guys want to as well. So, yeah. Thank you, Michael. Good for you. Yeah, welcome to understanding, that Reach It is actually designed from scratch. Like, we started with the pole, then we went to we tried with brushes, with beater brushes, so we didn't understand brushes very well, but we know it's the brush that cleans the glass. Then we went to the tube, so we've gone from the tube to the hose, back to the spigot. So we've just looked at every step where there's inefficiencies, because I used to be a window cleaner. So so I look at all the inefficiencies and all the steps that take time away from a window cleaner compared to trad or traditional window cleaning with a squeegee and a T-bar. And I've got, if this signal's breaking up, it's because my screen is just going blink, blink, blink with messages, other messages, not from here. So yeah, so when we look, then we go, the one I'm most proud of is Constructabrush, because this really is going to change the industry. But the next things that we're going into are going to blow you away. Like, we're already ahead on safety on anybody else with power and control handles, prism glasses. So not that we created Prism glasses, but we've been able to standardize it and commercialize it by giving them away for free with every Reach It poll. So we're not trying to, you know, say, hey, look at us, we came up with Prism glasses, or look how many we sell. We actually give it away and say, look, as a responsible manufacturer, I know that my product is potentially injurious to you, if not to you today, to you in your later life, right? So you go, if you're young and you're 24 and you tell me I'm full of shit because you don't feel any pain or have any injuries, I'm going to tell you after 20 million cycles of repetitious action within an injury groove where you're not in full strength and full full range motion, and without going to the gym and building all the rest of your muscles and groups, you will be injured from using a water-fed pole. And I take that responsibility to say, what can I come up with? What can I develop? What can I see? What can I borrow? What can I steal without stealing? What can I do that makes my customers, my Reach It customers, those people that support me and my family and my dreams and my innovations and aspirations, how do I make them safer so when they're old, right? Then so they can extend their working life, so that they can have a better quality of life, and when they're older, they're not going in for knee replacements and arm replacements and walking around with rotator cuff injuries that last the rest of their lives in pain, taking drugs to sort of work your way through life, all because you got a sports injury with a kid and you exacerbated it with a water-fed pole. Yep. So that's my little pitch for today. Yeah. David Blair is here. That's great. So you'll hear a couple of rants from me today. Let me see if I can get Johnny again. Johnny might be traveling. Let me see. Where are you, Johnny? I'm so glad that New Zealand has done well. I'm just disappointed that they now get 5 days to go and reset themselves. Here he is. Let me see if I can get him in here. Invite to broadcast. Can't invite this. That means he's disappeared on us. My God. What's the time, Harry?
It is 9:40.
Oh. Time to go, 9:40. That was one of the things, that call coming through, that was that guy coming to pick us up. So we need to rock and roll. Let me scroll down, say goodbye to you folk, one by one. Goodbye, John. Are you looking at the boys using it from the chair? Yes. We're talking with Jorge Aguilar, George Aguilar. We're talking with him and any of you guys that are high-rise guys. We're actually also starting, now it might take me a year, but we're actually starting the developing of a carbon fiber chair or a composite chair. So any of you guys have got ideas as how a chair would be better designed, or the accessories as they fit onto the chair, like the bucket and how you hold things and ropes and lines and all that sort of stuff. I'm really interested in that. I think because we have a company that's allowed to make, like in China, you've got to have a license to do what you do. So our company is licensed for new materials like composites. So now we're looking at what else could we make out of a composite. Do you remember the Wasp Pack? Like that Wasp Pack unit that came over the top? So we're working on that. I've got a delivery. There's 4 different units in the marketplace, and I bought one of every one of them. So we've got that in our factories now. So now we're going to sit down with those and say, you know, what aspects do we use out of any one or any other, and then how do we change and modify it? So then we're really aiming to get one of those into the marketplace for us real soon too. But that might take, you know, real soon, unfortunately, takes 2 to 3 months or longer. But yeah, pure water from the chair is good. So it's go time for us, you know. When you get momentum, you then use your momentum. Yeah. If you don't use your momentum, then obviously everything comes and goes. Everything is a sine curve, a bell curve, right? So we've got to take the chance that we're running great now, and then use that to sort of rebirth the new products. We've got Flow, and then we've got Hydroblade now. So Constructor is settled. Then we'll bring out Silbrush. Then we're going to bring out some traditional poles, which will be high-end traditional poles. And there should be penalties on guys that lose them, that's for sure. All right, so there you go. I will sign off and say that was a rant from Perry and a great chatting with Peter Thomas. Thank you for coming to us from Bali, Indonesia, when he's on his holiday. Oh, this guy's just told me he's arrived in the hotel. Okay, great. See ya. I'll see you from Ningbo tomorrow.